Hello, it's me, Jess. Welcome to my channel. I'm here with another channeled message. This is a specific message. It might resonate with you, it might not. All right, so I'm not entirely sure what's coming through here with this one, but we'll move slow and, of course, only take what resonates with this. But I feel like there's somebody here, and it might be even a group of somebodies, like a small little cohort here of like 3 to 4 people. But I feel like they have recently left a situation from their past. And whatever this situation was, it was very long standing. So it's like they could have lived their entire lives, like, in a certain place. And that might be, a certain country that they're from, or it even could be, with their family or whatever. But whatever this is that they left behind, it feels really, really solid and really, really entrenched. It's represented here by the Emperor card. So I think whatever this place was, it was very established. Like there was a certain kind of like order to whatever's gone on here, but there I think was an emperor figure, and maybe this is like a father figure, or maybe this is the government or something here, but it's very controlling and like very authoritarian, very kind of my way, the highway, very, there's a lot of power here with whatever this emperor represents. And I think that's the power of their position and how like entrenched something here is, but it's also a certain power of spirit. And I don't necessarily mean that in the best way, because I do think this person can be maybe hot-tempered, or they can be very selfish or like controlling, but they do have some kind of a plan, or they do have some kind of way that they see things. And there's a certain way that they think relationships should go. And I don't think that they feel it should be equal. And so somebody here was really feeling the weight of that, and they wanted to get away from that. And they wanted to go find their own strength, and they wanted to go find their own like solar plexus energy, confidence. And they were willing to put in the work, is what I'm getting with the Knight of Pentacles showing up here. I think that they are actually very traditional, and they're like very hardworking, and they're willing to put in the effort here, and even for it to be like boring, and they're ready to do that. There was something here in the past where, and this may have even like rubbed off on them to a certain degree, because they kind of marinated in this, although I don't think it's all encompassing with them the same way it is with this emperor figure. And this emperor, I think, is a person, like, again, a patriarch of some kind, or like a leader of some kind. But it's very entrenched in a certain culture where there's like a continual death energy to the star. So like a death energy to uniqueness. So maybe conformity was like enforced upon them here, but it also feels like there's like a death energy to vulnerability and people being who they are, and being able to have, again, like those kind of conversations of who they are and what they want. And so they've taken off from this place. And again, it feels like maybe it's a family, or it's like some kind of brotherhood or something here. And they wanted to find their own strength and their own confidence. And I think once they got away from whatever this was, there was actually a lot of confidence. But it does also feel to me like they ran into something else, like some kind of other problem where they were controlled by like the details of something. It's a more feminine energy that's coming through. I don't know if this is a person, but it's a more like detail oriented. It's still kind of authoritarian and controlling, but it's more feminine. It's a lighter touch. But they still feel like kind of kept down by it. And I feel like they were expecting sanctuary, and there was some kind of lack here, because it's like they're not the only person. Wherever they went, they're not like the only person there. Their energy has like mixed with another energy, like another force that's maybe coming from somewhere else. And so it's very opposite, like whatever this is. And there's like a kind of a competition of needs here. And it feels like everybody is trying to move forward. So this person felt very burdened, and I think that they felt very stuck, and they didn't know how to kind of turn a corner in, I'm hearing the word assimilate. They didn't know how to like kind of turn a corner in their soul, or try to like kind of work this out. And it does feel like there's been a decision here. Like there's the Queen of Swords and the Lovers. So I feel like there's been a harsh energy, but it might for some of these people feel harsh. I also think it might be like the cold, hard truth or something here. But there's been like a decision, and it feels like maybe it has to do with a relationship here. It feels like maybe there's like karma in a relationship, and it feels actually like this is with the group of people that like this cohort that I'm picking up on, that was leaving this like authoritarian person, because there is a judgment energy on, it feels like if this is like a romantic relationship or something, like if these two people, it feels like, I don't know, I kind of hate to say this, but I'm almost getting like maybe they're not supposed to be together, or there's some kind of karma about the two of them being together. And I don't mean they're not supposed to be together because this emperor says they're not supposed to be together. I mean spiritually, karmically, there's something here to do with their past. Yeah, past and the empress, to do with maybe a pregnancy, or to do with, it feels like maybe the wrong person was like left out in the cold or something here like that. And yeah, there's like a lot of people that are involved here. And there's some type of judgment situation here on this, where it's like unearthing that, because it feels like wherever they went, the past was made present. And it's because there's some type of karma that's being worked out in this like relationship. And I feel like maybe they were meant to, I don't know. This is weird. I don't like saying this because, I don't think that anybody should submit themselves to oppression. And I don't think that that's like kind of what is coming through. And this is what I'm saying. I don't understand this, but I do feel like there was something karmic about the situation that they were in, that they left. And it was more overt. And so it feels like whatever situation they flew to, or they fled to, there's still that oppression, but it feels like it's coming in another form, in not as an overt form, where they're, it's still the same energy, because there's something karmic to be wrestled with, like for these particular souls. And it feels like this couple, and maybe they agreed as souls to confront this together, maybe because there's a karmic contract here. So maybe that's it, of like, we'll like go through this together, or like, you know, your dad's a real piece of work, I'll be there, or something. I'll be there. But it feels like something here is like to be worked out, or even challenged, like with this emperor figure, because it doesn't feel like the best energy with this emperor. But I feel like maybe the couple here was supposed to challenge this person, not like directly with just the two of them, but it's like they, I don't know, were meant to be vulnerable, or they were meant to be different, or something like karmically. And I don't know. That just, it seems like that's what's going on. And so it feels like there is some kind of judgment energy, where something here is like being unearthed about like maybe a betrayal, or about maybe like betrayal of a contract, of some kind of karmic contract here. I don't know. There's also some kind of energy here that somebody actually worries about. And it's about, maybe a woman, or somebody here that likes nice things, I think, has a strong focus on materialism. I think that they have like a good head on them for business and like money. I feel like they dress really well, whoever this person is. And I don't know if this is the person and they're feeling anxious. No. There's something here that somebody is feeling anxious, because it feels like there's another relationship or something in the past, something that had to do with victory, something that felt really good. And this has to do with maybe another cohort here. And it's another cohort of like 3 to 4 people, because I'm really getting this cohort of 3 to 4 people. There's some type of karma between the two of them, and it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like these people are supposed to be together. It feels like there's other people that are supposed to be together and like work together, and maybe even like, receive some kind of message about like a job, or some kind of finances, or some kind of wealth. And like to be able to start over here or something. And somebody here is really grounded, has a good head on their shoulders. Yeah, I feel like, and it could be a group of people like this. It's like a group of Queen of Wands energies. And I feel like they've got a really good head on their shoulders, and they're very confident, and they're meant to like usher in a new beginning. And this is strange, because there's something here in the background energies of this where it feels like this is the healthy feminine energy. And it's almost like this group of people is meant to bring in a healthy feminine energy, and it feels like the energy of the group. And I'm not saying this group is all made of women, because group energy is feminine energy. So they're meant to bring in a healthy feminine energy to challenge this emperor, is what I'm getting. And this feels very karmic. And they're meant to work together, and they're meant to build together, and they're meant to it feels honestly like bring God's, this sounds so biblical, but they're meant to bring God's kingdom here upon the earth. They're meant to be building together cooperatively, in this real kinetic energy in accordance with spirit, and it will challenge this emperor energy. And I feel like that's karmically what they're meant to do. And there's meant to be partnerships, because now I've got the King and Queen of Wands. So there's meant to be partnerships here that's like the King and Queen of Wands, where it's very copacetic and it's very cooperative, and confident, and like there's a plan energy here. And but it feels like that was not done necessarily. There could have been an accident or what seemed like an accident, but it was actually competition, and it challenged this either a certain Queen of Wands who I think is kind of a leader here, and or like this entire group, because it feels like a group of like Queen of Wands energy of people that it honestly looks like a group of women to me that are all very attractive and like, but also grounded at the same time. Maybe have like a lot of suitors that are interested in them, but they're confident. It feels like the women are like the leaders here, or like the feminine energy. But there was some kind of conflict around like routine. And that also felt karmic, like where maybe a masculine energy was kind of thrown out because but it feels like maybe in a social way. And he felt, okay, this is, and I feel like this masculine's a part of this cohort that like left whatever this emperor energy is. And so he felt very put upon, but he needed to go make amends over there with this Queen of Wands, with his Queen of Wands. Because even if there's meant to be a group of Queen of Wands kind of energies here, but the Queen of Wands are also meant to pair with the King of Wands. And I feel like this man was maybe supposed to be a King of Wands, and isn't really. Instead, there's this functioning dysfunctional energy with a karmic relationship. And it does feel like maybe a family, maybe there's a child here or something. And actually he has become and taken on characteristics and traits of this emperor energy that he's meant to overcome. You know, like first, I think within himself, because he has been rubbed off on here. So I think he needed to overcome that. He needed to go back and make things right and be a part of this really positive, happy cohort that feels really alive to me. Like feels like really there's a lot of energy, but it also feels like maybe there are strong personalities, but you kind of need that in order to overcome whatever this emperor is. And it feels very healthy and actually very well balanced, but I feel like he tried to leave. And he also tried to, in becoming the emperor, he did something here to a Queen of Wands. And this feels like he was supposed to be with somebody like that. And also to this group that he needed to be vulnerable and he needed to be different than this emperor energy. Like he needed to go against this emperor energy in his own approach. Like he needed to not be so rigid. He needed to be vulnerable. He needed to show his freak flag a little bit here. And I do feel like spirit guide energy was like kind of watching over this, but he was really clinging to the same old routine. And I feel like that was a betrayal. And it was also a breach of some kind of karmic contract of what he's like here to fulfill, because it feels like much bigger than him. And, you know, so for those of you that resonate with twin flames, the part of that that's sticking out is, we're coming together for a purpose that is bigger than just, our relationship. You know, that's really what I'm getting here. There does feel like a mission, but it feels like multiple people and multiple couples actually. And that will be families, like are supposed to kind of congeal together to overthrow this like emperor energy. So that's it feels very oppressive. Like even if it's not a person, it's like the culture is very oppressive, and you need divine energy to do that. And we've got the Queen of Wands and the King of Wands here. And we've also got the Justice card. So it's a balance, it's a counterbalance, but also like the fire signs, like the grand fire trine. You don't hear about the grand water trine or the grand earth trine. You hear about the grand fire trine. And that's because dharmic energy, divine energy comes through the fire elements. There's something about that fire energy. It's very, very divine. And it's like kind of like a controlled burn, because these people are not stupid. Like the Queen of Wands and the King of Wands, this is, they're showing up, right? Like that's the royal family, right? The King of Wands and the Queen of Wands. These are actually very measured people. And this King of Wands, you know, had to come up through being a Knight of Wands and, you know, so was maybe cocky and an idiot like in his past, but he's meant to not be that. He's Knight of Wands has a lot of potential, and his potential is the King of Wands. And so he needs to realize his potential of being strong and kind of not being scared, because this is also somebody here where I feel like he was quote unquote the leader, but like led a karmic group here, whether that was like a family that he had created or some kind of false brotherhood, like away from this emperor energy. And he was the emperor himself. He in order for him to kind of become the emperor, for him to set the rules and for him to be like more controlling, and he was going to take those things off. And that was his version of finding strength, which is lacking in strength actually, and lacking in courage, or like lacking in morality. And so I feel like he ran in, it's like the past becomes present. And that even could be for his children, you know, like where his children are having to confront this now because he did not. But I think there's something here about he was trying to escape something, but then it followed him like right, you know, wherever you go, there you are also kind of a thing. Having to confront this same, it feels like a very controlling, oppressive force, but in other people. Because that's the karma here, or the agreement, because it might not be like this soul's karma of like, well, you did this in the past, so now you have to deal with it. It feels like there was an agreement, and it feels like between with him and a couple, somebody that he's a divine counterpart is really what it feels like. Because these two kind of can't be contained together. Like they bring out the best in each other sort of thing. But it feels like there's a lot of other couples like that around. And that's going to be the base of a group here. It's a fire group, and you can't control that. And it's justice energy, bringing justice by challenging this emperor energy, which I think, again, it's rules and it's that are unjust. It's challenging this oppressiveness, or that, oh, well, we're not allowed to be different, or we're not allowed to be vulnerable. It feels like these people are actually, I feel like they're sexy and they're confident and they're strong and they're cool. And they're like, actually, it's cool to be vulnerable. Like, you know, it's that kind of thing. And then I feel like there was some kind of message that may have come in here about like money or assets or like wealth. And it seemed like the bigger energy to, I want to say this masculine, because I feel like it's this masculine that's everything's kind of centered karmically in a bad way, like kind of around this masculine that like left this other maybe masculine force. Because he just wanted to be like kind of his own smaller dictator, but he can be a dictator over his family, you know, or over his like little fiefdom that he's going to create. And try to like kind of build walls around it, like a small little wall around it. So there was some type of maybe job offer or something, but Spirit was trying to get this man to listen to the spiritual voice, to hear the spiritual offer. And I don't think that this man put a lot of stock into spirituality or even into love relationships, but I can see that he hadn't been in love relationships like in the past. Whatever he was thinking that was, it actually wasn't. And Spirit was trying to get this, I want to say this masculine, and maybe it is a woman, but this is a woman in the yang energy, where maybe she was in her doing energy, but karmically she should have been in her being energy, and she should have like stayed firm in something. But yeah, this masculine is doing too much, and he's doing it in the wrong direction for the wrong reasons. And so it's like the past is made present here. There's been some type of decision, and there is some type of like fear or shame, anxiety here. And it feels like maybe around reunion with this woman, this counterpart that is meant to be his strength. And I think whoever, he knows that he made the wrong choice, and she is actually strong, and she's grown much stronger, and because I think she's done what she needed to, where she's planted herself. And I don't think she's got, you know, without his influence, she has become something different here. Other than that Queen of Wands, King of Wands that they are together, she's become kind of a Queen of Pentacles. I think she looks lovely, like whoever she is. And she's very smart, and she's very balanced. She has found some kind of peace, you know, like within herself. This is kind of an impressive lady, whoever this is. And I think would have to agree karmically to whatever this is. And he's nervous because he knows that he can't apologize to make everything go away. It's not going to work. So he's been like, and even wherever he went off to, I feel like he always looked back on her. He always kept an eye on her and saw that she was doing well, and that she was thriving, and that she looks really good, and that she's found some kind of peace. Maybe even under some kind of oppressive circumstances or something. And he was always kind of nervous because he's waiting for an opportunity to take some type of action. And it feels like he also wants to compete, but it also, maybe he felt that there was competition in the past for her, and there was, but they were supposed to be together. So, because she's just a Queen of Wands, you know, she's got a lot of suitors, but she's very grounded. I can see that she's very grounded, and I can see that other people are obsessed with her schmegduality and her body more than she is, you know. She's not really that person. And I think it feels like a weakness that needs to be overcome in this guy. So maybe he went off to accept a job offer somewhere, and he was going to build himself up, and then he was going to come back. And it does feel like there's a family over there. So it feels like a little double lifey over here. And it feels like now he's nervous because he feels like, well, she's strong. And it does feel like the karma to be worked out between the two of them. Like as strong as he gets, she gets strong too, because he's not going to just come back and dominate her. That's not their, what needs to be confronted between the two of them. Like she's equally as strong as he is. Look, now there's the King of Pentacles. So now we got the King and Queen of Pentacles here. Oh my gosh. And the Hierophant. So maybe he's also seeing if there's a King of Pentacles around, and maybe there is. I think he's been greedy though. I think that that's part of the karma that's gone on here, is that this guy might be good with money. He might take like having a family very seriously here and everything, but he's also been very greedy, and that may fold in with the karmas that are being paid here, because he collaborated with this Emperor energy, and he should not have. He should have opposed it and gone like independent. He still would have been secure. Because again, I think he's good with money. And I think like these souls that agreed to do this, it's like, you're going to need to be good with money in order to be able to survive here. Like, and you'll be fine. But that's why we're asking you in particular to go and do this, because you're good with money, but you're also strong and confident, and or you have the ability to be, if you're meeting your own karmas and learning your own karmas. And that is, as an individual, you're learning how to be fair, and you're learning how to be balanced, and you're learning to embrace your freak flag, and you're learning how to be vulnerable. It's going to lead you to your divine counterpart when the two of you are a balancing force to whatever this is. But instead he was like a fool. He could have jumped into a marriage too and defended it. When he should have been being alone and like turning a corner in his soul and going after his wish fulfillment, which I feel like this was this Queen of Wands. But he needed to grow up. He needed to become wise. And that's kind of maybe an important factor of the Knight of Wands becoming the King of Wands. So I do feel like there is like some kind of shame here. He's recognizing the folly of his ways, because for all of his running, he didn't get away from whatever he was trying to get away from in the past. And it's because he's not meant to. He's meant to like turn and confront it. And there's something about the truth and like sending a message of truth. And it may have to do with career. Or like a creative project. Or like clearing the air of some kind of wish fulfillment. I feel like that's the karma here. He needs to embrace the truth, which he might have to be vulnerable or like go against the grain. And that might be because there's some type of karmic relationship that he's gotten himself into. And maybe this Emperor force expects him to, that controls everything, like expects him to be a part of it. Also, if this isn't a family, or maybe even if it is, this like cohort here that I feel like there's judgment energy upon this. It might be like a group of masculines, but they're all different ages. So literally could be brothers or something. Maybe there's some girls in there. I don't know. But it's like everybody's like a different age. Or again, it's like maybe a group of men and everybody's like got their own little roles and stuff. But there's definitely like a hierarchy in whatever that is. So it could be that he left with that group but towards a karmic family or towards, yeah. And he thought that was his wish fulfillment. It was like foolish energy. Didn't really think something through here. And greed. Because there's a lot here where he's like very noble and, does take providing for his family like very serious and, all that stuff. But it's like he's greedy. Yeah, he's greedy. And so maybe that's also that could be who he married here as well. Somebody that he felt that he could gain from in that way, but it was morally lacking. He thought that was he thought it was a strategy is what I almost said. He thought that was a sanctuary for him to like move forward very quickly, but they're very different people and they come from two different places. They want two different things, opposite of this like divine counterpart energy that his woman had like back where he's from, wherever he was supposed to be. He knows who this person is because there's shame around it and guilt and secrecy. And he's been secretly watching her because he knows it's like he's always pulled back there because that's God. God is like, that's where you're supposed to be. You'll never not feel that pull. And it's like whoever he's involved with is not a great person, and is the source of the severing of this lover's energy, and he's responsible for that. And so I think he's feeling, oh man, there's greed here. It just keeps coming out that there's greed. I don't know what he tells himself it is, but it's actually greed. Because this guy seems very capable to me. And I think that's why he was chosen and why he agreed to be planted in whatever soil he was planted in. And to challenge something here. Yeah, but I feel like has just like maybe left the scene. But the same patterns are playing out. So, yeah, I think that's all I'm getting here. Well, I mean, yeah, and Spirit was trying to bring in something here, some kind of message that it's either that he needed to leave some kind of oppressive situation that he was like expected and in order to find his like divine soulmate, or that it's a 10 of cups, right? Like he needed to go find his 10 of cups. There was some kind of message here of like, this is your 10 of cups. And, but I feel like he could have been a favorite to somebody who had money in some way. And that's where this offer kind of came in. But whatever it is, he's going to invest a lot of time in it, and then realize via a tower, I think, that, something's changing. He's going to get in some kind of hot water here, and it has to do with the family. It has to do with the routine, something here that's really built up. And then he's going to have to make some type of decision. And yeah. Okay. Well, I think that's what I have for you. If that resonates, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Bye, guys.